And let's get you the latest updates coming in on the wrestlers' dharna. They've now left from Jantar Mantar. That was the protest site, because they're going to be meeting with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur anytime now. The round 2 of dialogue with Anurag Thakur is expected to begin anytime now from Jantar Mantar. They're making their way as we speak to Anurag Thakur's residence. Will we finally see some sort of a breakthrough? Big question mark on that. We're getting you the latest images right now as the protesting wrestlers Vinesh Fogart, Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia all have left from Jantar Mantar. So the wrestlers, as you see, they're leaving for that meet with Anurag Thakur. Late last night, there was a similar meeting that happened. It lasted for nearly 4 hours. What was the takeaway from the meet? Well, the government essentially, the information we have is that the government communicated to these wrestlers that they are willing to investigate all of the allegations. But they also highlighted that they cannot directly ask for Brij Bhushan to step down. The government doesn't have the authority because this is a completely separate, independent federation, the WFI. So the government told them that what we can do is we can set up a panel that will look into the charges that have been leveled, particularly the sexual harassment charges. The victims can then speak to the panel members and tell them about the grievances, about their experiences with Brij Bhushan, based on which there will be a formal investigation. So that was the government's outreach, the olive branch, to these protesting wrestlers. Now the wrestlers, these protesters, have said that they will think it through and then get back to the government. So now in this meeting that's expected to begin any time now, it's expected that they will communicate what they want, whether they're okay with what the government has said, whether they'll meet the government halfway on their demands. So that will be decided in the next few hours as they make their way right now to Sports Minister Anurag Thakur's residence. So this is the second round of talks that are happening. We're all hoping that right now the stalemate that we're seeing, there's some sort of an end to that, there's a breakthrough. How long will we keep our wrestling heroes out there on the streets of Delhi protesting for their rights? The government has been repeatedly speaking to them, holding dialogues with these wrestlers, hoping that they can reach some sort of confirmation or some sort of middle ground based on which things can move forward. But the government has promised them that there will be a detailed investigation into their allegations. The Sports Authority of India has also stepped in here. At 5 o'clock, it was expected that WFI Chief Brij Bhushan would hold a press conference. That hasn't happened yet, so remains to be seen if he's holding on to see what happens in this particular meeting. But today, this morning, when we spoke to him, he maintained that he is not willing to step down. Amit Bharadwaj is joining us live from outside Anurag Thakur's residence. Amit, any time now, the protesting wrestlers are expected where you are. And then the second round of talks between the government and the wrestlers will begin. What's expected in this huddle? Any inside track that you've been able to pick up on what the government is going to say to these wrestlers?
Right, Akshata, the protesting wrestlers are expected at Anurag Thakur's official residence anytime now. They have left from Jantar Mantar, and before these wrestlers reach Anurag Thakur's residence, we know for a matter of fact that senior officials of the Sports Ministry have been called in as well. DG SAI Sandeep Pradhan has entered Anurag Thakur's residence just 5 minutes back, which means that the brainstorming which happened last night, where Sports Minister Anurag Thakur was present, senior Sports Ministry officials were present along with the protesting wrestlers. You know, there was a detailed conversation about the concerns and grievances which were raised by the protesting wrestlers, and all through the day these officials must have brainstormed as well as to what can be done. What we are picking up from our sources is that on one hand it is pretty clear that the government of India or the Sports Ministry as of now cannot ask WFI President Brij Bhushan Singh to step down, because it is, again, WFI is an elected body where elections happen, so the entire procedure has to be taken up from a different route. Now, if you look at the developments that have happened in the past 24 hours, you know, last night 4-hour long meeting happened, marathon meeting happened, and today the official complaint with IOA, Indian Olympic Association, was filed by the protesting wrestlers, including Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart and Ravi Dahiya. Now, this is the first official complaint alleging sexual harassment charges against Mr. Brij Bhushan and a couple of other officials of the WFI. And in that particular complaint, mental harassment charges have been labelled as well, and 4 demands have been made. Now, what we are understanding
I will let you
right
also
now
in a bit, Amit. But focusing on that meeting that's expected to start any time now, we had details earlier about also what the government was willing and their communication to these wrestlers. They said that the government can't really directly intervene because this is an independent body. We're talking about the Wrestling Federation of India. But they did promise them that there would be a detailed investigation, a 3-member panel that would also be set up. So today, in this follow-up meet, in a sense, that we're going to be seeing, are we only expecting a communication from the wrestlers whether they're okay with what the government has to offer or not?
Akshata, yesterday there was a 4-hour-long meeting. These wrestlers have very categorically told the government that we will not back down until and unless Brij Bhushan Singh is forced out of WFI. Now today, when this meeting begins at Anurag Thakur's residence, it will be made clear to them as to what are the options in front of them, what are the legal procedures that has to be followed. Now you have put in an official complaint, the IOA will act upon it, and till the time the investigation is being carried out, Mr. Brij Bhushan will be asked to step down from the president's post. That is the best possibility which could be offered to them. During this meeting, this will be communicated very clearly to the protesting wrestlers, including Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik and Vinesh Fogart, who are expected to reach here anytime from now. So this particular meeting, Akshata, essentially would be letting the wrestlers know that the government has been really serious about the entire issue and what are the legal options available to them. A committee is being formed. The committee will look into the allegations which have been put forward by the wrestlers. Until then, Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh will be asked to step aside. So these are the options which are available right now. And in this particular meeting, the communication will be made clear. Hopefully, because now, you have official complaint which has been filed by the wrestlers as well. What we are expecting from this meeting is that hopefully these wrestlers might agree to the pointers or the options which are being provided to them. And for now, this tussle might end if provided that Mr. Brij Bhushan agrees to step down or the Indian Olympic Association takes an action, asks the WFI to sideline its president. So that is the best which is expected from this particular meeting.